Hi, this is Carrie Brownstein.
This is DJ Premier.
This is Darren Aronofsky.
You got the RZA right here.
Rose McGowan.
Radiohead.
Aisha Tyler.
Tribe Called Quest.
Fred Armisen.
Fritz Paul.
Javier Munoz. Seth Meyers.
Frankie Cosmos.
Flying Lotus.
Hi, we're Chaim, and you're listening to the Talkhouse Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Talkhouse Podcast. I'm Josh Modell. On this week's episode, we've got a pair of songwriters who currently call Canada home, but whose music and backgrounds come from intriguingly different places. Lido Pimienta and Ora Cogan. Now, Lido Pimienta is an incredibly thoughtful, thoroughly outspoken musician/artist who was born in Colombia and whose music takes inspiration from there and a dozen other places. She released her first record in 2010, but it was 2016's experimental-leaning La Pepesa that won her both the prestigious Polaris Music Prize and a bigger batch of listeners inspired by her activism and genre jumping. The laziest comparison might be Bjork, so take that for what it's worth. Pimienta's latest album is last year's stirring, strange, and gorgeous La Belleza. Check out a little bit of the minimal song Mango right here.
Se me chorrea ese mango. Y bajito la mata, y bajito la rama del palo. Pa' que me diera, mamá.
The music made by the other half of today's conversation, Ora Cogan, comes from a different sonic place, but I think a similar emotional one. Cogan's new album, Hard-Hearted Woman, takes old-school West Coast singer-songwriter vibes and adds a bit of modern indie psych edge. I hear influences like Joni Mitchell and Sharon Van Etten bubbling under, but there's something a little darker happening in Cogan's songs that's hard to put a finger on, but a pleasure to hear. She's finishing up a West Coast US tour at the moment that will end back home in British Columbia, so check her out if you can. And in the meantime, check out a little bit of her song, The Smoke, from Hard-Hearted Woman, right here. In this lively conversation, Pimienta and Cogan talk about coffee, Canada, and Pimienta's recent career reset. They also talk about the increasing difficulties of making art in the modern economy, something we've heard from other guests recently as well. But they don't let it get them down. Enjoy this chat and their positive energy.
Made it. So yeah, I'm in Paris. I'm doing an art residency at a friend's place just outside of Paris. I couldn't find anywhere quiet to go in the city, so I rented a little office, and I'm wearing this little jacket that makes me look like I'm wearing a suit, so I feel really, business casual right now.
Seems very, Meanwhile, I'm like, there's my little pottery in the background.
You're doing the art, you're not just puttering around.
Yeah.
Spending $5 gazillion on coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
You don't need coffee.
I'm from Colombia, so people are like horrified to hear me say that.
How come?
I don't know. I saw my grandmother and my family have coffee, but they just had like small amounts of very black coffee. And when you're a kid, they don't give you that. They give you like a little bit of coffee in a lot of milk. So you'll have like café con leche, like it's just like milk. And I grew up in very hot weather. So when you're so hot all the time, you don't want to have something hot either, unless it's soup. I just love cold stuff. It could be winter, and you will see me with a big jar of water filled to the rim with ice cubes. Like that's like what I like to drink. So I just never got used to the coffee. This week I've been really tired. I haven't been able to sleep. So Brandon, he's like, oh, have a little bit of coffee. And then I have a little bit. And I'm like, I feel like I don't want to do this. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay not having coffee for all my life. I don't need to start now.
I'm getting sucked in because my boyfriend Atticus he could drink like 10 cups of coffee in a day. We've been on tour together. So it's like, it's coffee time again. Mm-hmm. And then I can't sleep.
I have a bunch of deadlines coming up. They're not like harsh deadlines, but I just like my sense of responsibility is very OCD for me. So because I know that I have like, okay, I have 20 tapestries. Out of the 26 are done. The other ones I have to finish this. Okay, that one is done, but this one, I don't think I want to. So I don't allow myself to fully rest. And I'm also like, now I'm drinking more liquids because like I don't drink alcohol. I don't eat. I've never ever had like McDonald's or like stuff like that. Like I'm pretty good. Like I don't know what Pepsi tastes like. Like I'm pretty good at those things, but I love sugar. Like I am addicted to sugar. I love baking, baked goods. Like I bake so much. I love to bake for my kids. Like I just baked them like a 4-tier like strawberry cream cake and I haven't had it. I had like a little bit just to, okay, yeah, it tastes good. But usually I would have like the largest piece and I would put so much ice cream on top of it. And that's like a normal everyday thing for me because that's my thing, you know. And like, I don't think we talk about sugar addiction as much. So now when I wake up, I get my large jar of water filled to the rim with ice, but then I'll add apple cider vinegar and like lime and sea salt. And the sea salt that I brought from Colombia and it's delicious. So now I'm just like, and I'll have so much of it while I'm like running around. So I'm also like peeing a lot. It's just crazy. So I'm like, half of my head, it's like, I have to get this done. And then the other side, it's like, I have to go pee. So I'm not sleeping. So that's pretty much it. It's like half of my brain is like responsibilities. And then the other half, wow, I drank a lot of water and I still need to pee in the middle of the night. And I can't sleep.
Yeah, no, I also love sugar. And I've been on tour for the past few weeks and just doing this little residency and then going on another tour. And road snacks are like my, little devil. Like I just like, as soon as I get on tour, all of that, like I don't drink alcohol anymore.
You're in Europe.
They have good snacks in France. They have really good snacks around here. And you just
They have great cheese. They have great dairy.
Yes.
They have great pastries, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in Europe, I'm like, well, all the bad ingredients that are allowed in North America are not allowed in Europe.
Yeah, it's fun. It's super healthy here.
I'm like being so healthy right now. This giant croissant filled with chocolate is super healthy because it's not made.
Strawberry cream filled croissant that's like 5 layers high and like bigger than my head is totally healthy because they use really whole.
It's totally healthy because they don't use the bad stuff. They don't. It's all natural. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you go on tour, you're like everything you're doing at home to be good and to be healthy, like it kind of goes out the window too, because it's just, and you're so tired and stuff. But
yeah.
Are you just starting tour?
Well, we just did the UK and Ireland and it was amazing. It was like, I'm really into fiddle time, playing fiddle a lot. I've been teaching myself off and on for the past few years. And the past 3 years, I've gotten more serious about it. And I'm learning some Irish and Scottish trad. So I was sneaking off to get into fiddle sessions in pubs if we got a little bit of time off. We went to a lot of sessions and my bandmates, they gave up the club for the pub. They like came and hung out with me in these traditional folk sessions and they're really into it. Usually they go dancing or something a little bit more wild, but it was really nice. And it's really scary because a lot of, Irish traditional folk music is like the power metal of folk music. It's so fast and it's like everything is all twisty and it's like little riddles in each melody. So there's a lot to learn and I'm just a baby, but it was really fun doing that. I love everybody I play music with. They're really great. And it's been a really fun tour. It's been really exciting. And then now doing this residency with Atticus, we just spent the morning in this really beautiful church. And it's funny because I was like this pagan little scrappy kid and I wouldn't even step foot into a church because I'm like, it's Christianity. But this church is like, it's really beautiful. It's a little village church. And instead of a lot of Christian iconography, there's paintings of the villagers working in the fields and hanging out in the forest, eating snacks, stuff like that. So it
feels more pagan for sure.
It does, yeah. Atticus was playing the organ and I was playing the fiddle and we were just kind of wandering around and he did an ink drawing in the rain that made it really beautiful. Yeah, we had a pretty special time. It's it's been pretty dreamy. And the woman that runs the residency is also a friend of mine. She was hitchhiking in Canada years ago, and she showed up on my doorstep because she needed a place to crash, and now we're friends. So it's become a thing of coming here and writing whenever I get a break on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going back home, and then we're going to go down to New Mexico, so down the west coast of the States with the band. But Atticus isn't coming because the border feels kind of crazy right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling all my friends that are traveling, like from South America, they're like so excited. Like they have like their first gig in the US. And I'm like, just don't bring your real phone. Like just buy like a second, third hand phone that you don't care and that you don't have any history of anything. And like, it's just so despicable what people are being put through.
Yeah.
Because of the interests and greed of like the 1%. So yeah, you gotta do what's safe. You're bringing me flashbacks of tour. I haven't toured in a while by choice. I was pretty the word is exploited in my last very demanding real tours, until I got control of myself and control of my career by getting rid of some people that were just not good for me. I fulfilled some of the contractual things that I had, and then I gave myself a long break.
Yeah.
And this is the first winter that I didn't travel at all, that I stayed, end of the fall and the entire winter. I've never experienced that. And I think I've never felt depression the way that I've felt it this winter. But also I've never been more clear about what I want to do and how I want to do things and move forward. I finally have new management and I have like a new team, and it's so different when the group of people that are there to help you are actually helping you and want you to do the things that you are meant to do, not just to fill this quota to make yourself look cooler. Because I don't know how you feel, but I think that we are in a very important spiritual time where the spirit world are like, oh, let us speak up because humanity needs some help. And I think that's why we see a lot of people lashing out, but that's because energetically and spiritually, we are understanding that something has to give, So I seriously think that we are in the last era, at least in what we do, which is art, music. We're in the last era of bullshit where the celebrity culture, or like the celebrity that only offers entertainment, is not enough. This is the first time, for the first time in the last, 15 years since I started singing, not knowing what I was doing, that I'm realizing, oh yeah, like power of media, power of communication, artificial intelligence, like being for free now, just to test the waters on how much people are willing to give away their thoughts and their emotions. It's really measuring where we're going to go and how we're going to move forward. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I am excited to go back on tour. I am excited to go to make music, to show new stuff, to make art that feels good, and that to continue. Because I feel like sometimes it just feels like an injustice is playing all the time in so many levels.
Yeah.
And when you decide to not be an entertainer, you just feel like tricked, cheated out of something that looks really shiny and comfortable. Like it just feels like a good time to come out and to not fall for the doom. Yes, it is very dark, but just open your mouth and start singing and you'll start seeing the light, So when you were talking about when you were a kid, you were like, I wouldn't step foot in a church. Like I was the same. I was so against it, but I was always thrown in the choir at the church, I grew up Catholic, and I was just so like against it. And like, I feel so differently now. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. It's like, it's beautiful. Faith is so beautiful, but it was also beautiful to feel apprehensive.
Yeah, I resonate with all of that. For one, good for you for doing what you needed to do, to feel free and in your integrity and walk away for relationships that weren't serving you as an artist. Like we do notoriously, like, if you're playing music and you're making a living off of it in this economy, it's the nastiest business, right?
Mm.
And it's really easy to get suckered, and it's really easy to fall into a lot of traps. It's music, which I feel is really sacred, and this living thing that has to do with community and culture and all sorts of beauty. And then it's business, and that's the opposite. It's capitalism. It doesn't do good things for people's brains or their hearts. I've been, relatively for the past 20 years playing music and working day jobs and just not really worried about it too much, because it was just like, well, this is just a part of my practice of being a human. And now that I'm getting more attention as an artist, it feels a little bit different. It feels like I need to be a lot smarter, because I'm not really used to people looking at me as an artist that they think is somehow important, or that they're might be like an opportunity for business or anything like that, because I was just playing noise shows. Or like I was playing weird folk music at noise shows for 15 people, and like, a tour was a pretty minimal thing that it probably cost, a lot more money than it made. And I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around a lot of stuff when it comes to engaging with the music business as an artist. Shit is getting real, and playing music and holding space in this kind of context of performing and playing music is a really, really important, soulful thing to do at a time where a lot of our hearts are being broken all the time by the kind of relentless, toxic hellscape.
It's so important to know which are the artists that stand for the things that you stand for. So that alone has so much value. And in terms of the business side of it all, unfortunately, we don't live off grid. We don't live, in a mountain somewhere in a community with people that grow their own food, etc. We have to stay put where we are, and we have to be agents of good in however we can, but we also need to make sure that people are not taking advantage of us.
Yeah.
And we also have to make sure that we are not romanticizing the thing of going on tour and having people looking at us in any way that's different.
Yeah.
Like having attention, right?
Like, oh, this one's really important. This is some singular genius that's doing something, that nobody else can do, instead of like being like, oh.
Yeah, no. Like for me, I see it this way. I am not Bad Bunny, and I am never going to be Bad Bunny, right? You know what I'm saying? And I've been in the room, I've been in the room with Bad Bunny, and I saw firsthand, like, oh, this is fame, right? This is wealth. Oh, okay. And what takes to get there? I don't have it. You don't have it. I don't have it.
No, thanks.
So for us, when business to us, it's still something so moderate and something so accessible that I see myself as someone like something that helps me. It's just like you look at regular jobs, like teaching, like a chef, and you look at their salaries and you can compare your salary to them, and that roots you and puts you like on earth, So when it comes to my business, that it makes sense because, you have your expenses, you have like your rent or your mortgage or your, the family that you take care of, like you have all those things, like this is how much money I need to survive. And then you set goals for yourself. And like, I have goals for myself. Like, I want to build a school in my village. Okay. I'm going to need a little bit more than the salary of a teacher in Ontario. So how do I do that? And then that's how I see it. And like, I come from a place of reality and like realistic expectations. And sometimes you will get a gig that's like, whoa, I can't believe I'm getting paid this much. And then that's when you have to be ready. And that's when like you have to be savvy with understanding. It's just like business is not bad, especially when you're not exploiting anybody, because I feel like what we do, we give people work, right? Like everybody gets their cut and we're all working together toward the same thing,
Yep.
So like I would never allow artists who aren't in the mainstream to feel doubt about getting their bread. Like that's not what we're about to do, because what these CEOs are getting paid, what the owners of these corporations are getting paid, like while these big bosses are getting paid, and like the exploitation that they have their employees go through, like that's never gonna be us, and like I've done touring really good and I've done touring really bad when I was with other people that were not good at their job, that were guiding me like not proper. But like now, like you take those precautions, like before you say yes to anything, you make your little budget and you make it in a very moderate, conservative way, so that you know exactly like this is how much money I'm going to make, and this is how much money I'm going to invest, and this is how much money I'll be able to pay people. And then make your decision based on that, So, because the worst thing is just like, I am doing this because I love it so much. And then you end up regretting it. So that's like, because artists, like, we're not good with numbers. I'm not good at that. And this is where we get into trouble. It's like, as artists, we absolutely need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is what we absolutely, and it's so boring and it's so horrible. But you know what's horrible?
What?
Playing 50 shows and then having no money.
It's pretty bananas out there. I mean, you're amazing. You're one of the most profound artists I've ever seen play live, and you keep it really real. And that's something that I really love about you, is that you're joking with everybody. And when you're on stage, like you do elevate the energy in the room, in this really profound way. And I've never gotten the sense from you as a fan that you're like leaving the rest of us behind in the dust or something like that. You're like, and I feel really grateful. Like when I met you, I was super starstruck. And I was like, oh my God, it's Lido Pimienta. And you were so chill. You're like, hey, here's my baby. Like, let's hang out, whatever. And you didn't know, if you liked my music or not, or who I was, or if that mattered or anything. You're just being real with another human, and it meant a lot, as somebody who's like, could easily like hero worship you, because I think you're a genius. When I listen to your music, I feel like, for me, like when I think about like, why am I doing this? And what is it about music that I love so, so much? And it does feel like gills and wings. It feels like liberation. It feels like freedom. And I think about like when I like listen to you do everything. Like you've got like a metal background and you're doing this symphonic stuff with strings, and you're doing, comedy basically in between the songs and everything. And it feels like you have this way of moving through music that's limitless.
I think that because I didn't go to school for music, that I am rid of preconceived notions of like musical etiquette, like in the context of like either academia or entertainment or music. I didn't go to school for that. I also grew up in the Caribbean, where music existed as another human that you live with. Like music is not the thing that you turn on. It is always on. And you can't control it.
No.
Right? What happens in North America, or so-called Canada, where we live, what is the soundtrack in this land is silence. That's the soundtrack. It's white noise. It's like static, and it just makes you really sad. I always have to have music playing because that's how I grew up. Like when you grow up in a culture like the Caribbean culture, your neighbor is playing music really loudly, and your neighbors in the back are playing music really loudly for hours, and that's just it. You just have to deal with it, and even if you don't like it, too bad.
Hell yeah.
So when you go to my show, I go to these places of like hyper emotion And when I start seeing people and their expression that they're about to cry, I'm like, oh, if they cry, I'm gonna cry. There goes the show. So then I gotta go and I switch it up to the comedy because that's just who I am. Like I just feel like I'm also very intelligent.
I know.
I'm a very smart person. So and it manifests in my humor because I also don't like people who are very intelligent, but they go to snob route.
Yeah.
And I went to a school to become an art critic and curator, and there was a lot of that. So I always feel like,
boring.
I don't want to, this is not what it is. And that is why so many people, when I see people that are like, that's art, I could have done that. Like, yeah, you could have. You didn't.
No, you didn't.
But I know where you come from. You didn't, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's boring because the substance is not the object, it's what's behind it. And that is not accessible when you live in a village and you don't have electricity and you don't have water and you have to go physically go lug your water. You want people, you want noise, you want stomping, you want fiddling, right? And like that's real, more real than the fifth movement of the Chopin of the blee blah blee blah blah. Like that's what it is, you know? So like I exist in a world where, you know, yeah, I am going to listen to this fifth movement and I am going to cry because it's so beautiful. But I'm also going to go to, you know, some hip hop, you know, underground craziness because it all deserves the same level of respect and reverence. So I feel like that's what happens in my show. It's like we're all together and we're all trying to survive in this world controlled by the 1% of horrible, parasitical people that are quote unquote nobility and elites. Like, no, you are actually demons, parasites. We are the elite.
They're like babies.
Artists, you're the elite. Like, that's, you know, like people with a heart, that's noble. That's noble. Empathy, that's beauty, you know?
Yeah.
Like when we met, it's like, again, I am not Bad Bunny. Like when people talk to me and they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. And I'm like, that's it.
You know what I feel? I feel grateful when people, when they feel moved, they're like excited, like, oh my God, I love your music. But I feel kind of bummed because what I really want to hear at the end of a show from somebody is like, wow, I had a really special experience. That's what I want to hear from them.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's for. It's for them, you know,
Yeah.
and to connect and have a sense of like, whatever I do, it's not, you know, some kind of singular genius. And like you, I didn't study music. I dropped out of school when I was 15. I've taught myself anything and I'm teaching myself and I still make mistakes and I still, you know, can be clumsy and struggle with communication. And I do want to learn as much as possible, really. And that's what it's about. It's like learning, connecting. I think about it like being human. Like, yes, you know, hip hop and classical music and traditional folk music from all over. And, you know, everything has, we're not in a hierarchy of value when it comes to culture and art and, or people, you know, yes, a child could do a really profound piece of art. Yes, somebody in a small village where they don't have any art college could do a profound piece of visual art. I've been doing a lot of press and it feels like all the time, like trying to define and limit and make these boundaries. I think that there is gatekeeping that can be important when it comes to culture, when it comes to identity. But then when it comes to something like musical genre and contemporary music, it's like, it gets a little funny, like in a different side of things where it's like, I don't think that wearing the right sneakers or having a specific amp sound is what I'm after, you know, especially as a 43-year-old woman. What I'm after as an artist is being a human being and learning about life and connecting and being a conduit for energy for life. And that means being all sorts of different emotions and being a massive nerd or being really intuitive or like, you know, really spending time and focusing and thinking things through in a serious way, but also being a total goofball. And then when there are boundaries or containers that deserve a lot of reverence and respect, moving through that in a really good way too. You know, I think a lot more of that and maybe language and communication around music changing, where I think a lot of people get that and they want that and they don't want to, like you said before, like buy into, you know, celebrity politics or the cult of personality. It's like, oh, this one cute person is just so special. Let's just like make them into a product and sell them.
Wealth, it's less accessible now. Like a regular living, it's way less accessible now. So I think people give themselves like pleasures of insignificant, or giving a lot of value to things that are very cheap because that's what they can access. And that gets translated into these personalities, like ephemera of personalities, and then you go to the next thing and you go to the next, because our brains are now accustomed to doom scrolling, where your attention is like, you look at a horrible tragedy and then they're selling you pills to lose weight.
And then there's a cute puppy.
And then there's like a soldier coming back home after not being home for 6 months. And it's like, okay. And it's all a part of that web to make us not truly feel, right? So like, that's why I just go so hard for art. Like I go so hard for real art, because it'll be the thing that is going to stand, and like now I'm kind of like, I gotta learn how to make my own butter. Okay, I gotta learn how to make my own ketchup. I'm gonna make my own bread. Like that's kind of where my mind goes. It's just kind of like, I need to learn, how do I make fire in the winter? Like that's kind of where my mind is going, because I am so ready for people one day. And I hope so. I really, truly hope that one day everyone wakes up with the same idea of not going to work, of not buying anything, of staying home. And then like, well, we're going to actually grow our food. What do you mean I can have chickens in my backyard? And I feel like once everybody locks in, then these corporations and parasites are going to be like, oh, wow, well, it was good while it lasted. I guess we can like build a condo in the moon now.
Can't sell them anything anymore. I don't need it anymore.
But it is so hard. I have a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And my 2 teenage boys. And like, I think for the most part, we're doing good. But it's like my 7-year-old, she begged me to put nails on her to go to school.
Yeah.
Begged me. These big, long red nails.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't do it. She's like, but so-and-so is doing it. And so-and-so is also doing it. No one got into trouble. And I'm like, you know what? Who am I to not let you be hyper freaking feminine? Because I wasn't. Then that means you can't do it. It's just such a mind trip. But it's like, she's 7 and she wants crazy long drag queen nails, and I'm like, you know what?
I don't blame her. Those are really cute.
Grow off, sis. Like, you know what? And she's very like into her makeup and into her, and like begged me the other day because she wants to have like a skin routine. She wants to have like a beauty routine, and I'm like, let's cut some cucumber, but because that's what they see. And it's like, I can do homeschooling.
You can't, you're busy.
I can't. And I actually want them to get out of the house. Go. I need you to be away for these hours, and like be with other people. I think that's awesome. But they come back with, and she has the little thing. They bought her the la 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 la. So it's like, it is so much work.
I can imagine.
But again, that's where art is so important, because it's like, have your little nails, but we're also going to sit down and we're going to be painting all day, and we're going to teach you color theory.
Then you can apply that for the nails.
Yeah. And then we do ceramics and pots, and she's going to learn how to do that. And like, when we go to Colombia, we're going to learn how to make a house out of mud and like stuff like that. So it's like, I just think that it's all about balance, because it's so like, the craziest thing is like, a lot of these corporations, they buy good ideas. So like Vaseline is such a great idea, but it's owned by people who are evil. But I really need Vaseline because my son has eczema, and that's the one thing that he needs. So it's just so crazy. Like, we're like, just send back. That's why I don't judge anybody for the choices that they make. It's like, they gotta do what they gotta do.
But I Lido, thank you so much for talking to me. It's always such a pleasure speaking with you. And I can't wait to see all of these tapestries you're talking about and all of your beautiful work coming up.
Yeah, it's going to get done. It'll get done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing time. Say hi to your man.
Thank you.
And hopefully we see you in the summer at some festival or something. We'll see each other.
Yeah, around a bonfire with the kids.
Yeah.
I hope so. Mwah.
Period.
Thanks for listening to the Talkhouse Podcast, and thanks to Lido Pimienta and Ora Cogan for chatting. If you liked what you heard, please follow Talkhouse on your favorite podcasting platform and check out all the great chats and writing at talkhouse.com. This episode was produced by Myron Kaplan, and the Talkhouse theme is composed and performed by The Range. See you next time.